I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. I'm here today with Gadi Bashfitz, CEO at Bright Security, a developer-centric dynamic application security testing solution, also known as a DAST. Visit brightsec.com to learn more. Evolution Equity TV is brought to you by Evolution Equity Partners, an international venture capital investor partnering with exceptional entrepreneurs to develop market-leading cybersecurity and enterprise software companies. To learn more about Evolution Equity, visit evolutionequity.com. Welcome, Gadi. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Gadi, Bright Security's mission, as it's described on your website, which is very well done, is to enable organizations to ship secure applications and APIs at the speed of business. So, Gadi, give us a 30,000-foot view of the company.
The idea behind Bright Security and what we deliver is that today there's a significant mismatch between the velocity of developers deploying code and the velocity of application security teams being able to test the applications and APIs that those developers are releasing. And our goal is to help those organizations better align their development processes with their application security practices to make sure that they can find and detect vulnerabilities across applications and APIs as early as possible in the development lifecycle. It's really a just-in-time approach around that, and remediate those vulnerabilities, which has a very significant business impact across their ability to release applications and APIs faster, about the happiness of their applications and security and development teams, and about the risk reduction and improved performance of both their application and engineering teams.
Well, we're here to talk about risk, and at the risk of offending some people who may be watching us, I have to ask, is DAST, or Dynamic Application Security Testing, as we've known it for so many years, dead now? And how does Bright Security want us to think about it?
I think dead is a hard claim. It's a hard statement. I think it's evolving, and it has to evolve just like many other aspects of development and application security or security overall. If you don't evolve in the modern world, you're not going to be able to meet the organizational goals that you have, and you will be at risk. I think that legacy DAST, as we like to call it, is still applicable relevant for organizations that have not chosen to adapt and deploy DevOps and CI methodologies. Legacy DAST could be okay for them. However, if you're an organization that has decided to increase your development velocity, to use DevOps practices, to use agile practices in development, you have to change your DAST practices. Otherwise, you are in deep trouble. And that's where legacy DAST is no longer applicable for organizations. And the new DAST or modern DAST solutions are much more applicable. And the key changes there are really aligning the velocity of application security with the velocity of development. And that means that you need to be able to put these DAST tools in the hands of developers, not just shift left and all of the slogans that we're hearing about, put it in the CI, etc. I spoke with a CISO yesterday, and we were talking about the overall issue of, we only have one AppSec person for every 200 or 300 developers. He said, how about 0 AppSec people for 200 or 300 developers? Hey, we can no longer afford a world where we are putting security tools in the hands of security. Security has to provide the governance and the guidance and the reporting around AppSec, but the actual work has to be done by developers. And that's why putting it in the hands of developers is so critical and so important.
So you talked about CISOs, and of course, application security is a major concern for them, for their security teams. And you talked about developers. You have people who are running development teams. It could be a VP of application development. But these are distinct groups, and they've, for a very long time operated independently of each other. Are we starting to see them come together, Gadi? Is there more discussion between them? Is there more collaboration between them?
I'll say one thing before I answer your direct question, which has baffled me. I've been in the world of cyber for 30 years since I started it in the military and moved on to many other roles. And For some reason, over the last 20 years, there's this perception that if you're a developer and you have a bug in your software, it's your responsibility. But if you have a security vulnerability, it's the responsibility of the AppSec team. And that just does not make any sense. Security vulnerability is a bug and it needs to be treated as such. And if you don't have the skill set of dealing with it or addressing it, then you need to either gain that skill set or leverage the team in the organization that can help you have that skill set. And now to your direct question, absolutely, the teams are merging. We're seeing more and more security organizations that have people embedded within the development organization. We're seeing security engineering teams. We're seeing CISOs that report to the CTO. And we're seeing a lot of different structures in which the teams are coming together because they understand that they will either adapt and start collaborating more closely or they will die. The other aspect, apart from just the people and the teams, is you need to have the right processes and you need to have the right tools. So we're seeing an emergence of a bevy of tools that are able to make the collaboration between those teams more efficient and more effective. If you don't have the right tools and the right processes, that collaboration will never work and it'll be antagonistic. And we're part of that set of tools that enable those teams to be much more efficient together.
So, Gady, Evolution Equity Partners led your $20 million funding round a few months ago. How important is it to find the right investor partners? How important was that raise for you as a company? And what can you tell us about your relationship with the company, with Karthik, who I know that you speak with on a regular basis? He's a partner at Evolution Equity.
When you go to raise a round and obviously, times have changed since we raised our round a year ago. The market was pretty frothy and pretty good when we did our last round. And hopefully by the time we need our next round, we'll be back there. We were in the great position to have multiple term sheets presented to us from various investors. And some, I have to admit, were more lucrative than the term sheet that was provided by Evolution Equity. But we really looked for the right partner. And we wanted to make sure that the investor that we are partnering with is a strong partner for the long term with the company. It was our Series A. We knew that there would be many or multiple more rounds that we would be raising, and we still have a long road ahead. And we believed that Evolution Equity, and specifically Karthik, even though we've met the entire team and they're all great, would be a very strong partner for us. There were 5 criteria that we really looked at when we looked for the investor that would be the right investor for us. And Evolution Equity checked all the boxes. Others did not. And that's why we believed that Evolution would be the right partner. And it's proven to be true. You know, we've been working with Karthik for slightly over a year now. Last week I was in New York and I got to hang out in the Evolution office in New York for half a day. So talk to Richard and a few of the other people on the team. And they have been super helpful. They are supportive. They are the first investor that we can go to when things go right or when things go wrong. We speak very, very openly. They provide the correct guidance, and sometimes when it's needed, they kick our butt, which is exactly what we expect them to do. So that partnership has been very strong, and we look forward to many more years of that partnership.
Great people, great reputation. We've enjoyed working with them as well. So I have to ask Gady, the funding, what is it being used for? Is it for product development? Is it for sales and marketing, geographic expansion, all of the above?
We look at it in 3 different phases. Phase 1 is really the first half of this year, which is exactly the first point you touched on, which is development. We signed up some very large customers late last year, and we had to grow into the deployments with those customers. Turns out that deploying a solution to a company that has 2,500 applications and 10,000 developers is slightly different than a company that has 30 developers and 20 applications. And a lot of our focus and a lot of the work in the first half of this year has been around growing the product and making sure that it's fully rounded for those enterprise customers that we're partnering with. The second half of the year will be focused on a lot more sales and marketing activities. And that is, now that we have the product, it's proven at scale, it's deployed with these very large customers, go out to the rest of the world and provide the solution to them. So that's the next part. And the part after that is really looking to scale the solution beyond the focus that we have today. So the focus today is on application and API DAST solutions, but there are many other components that are adjacent to our area, like fuzzing capabilities, which is where our origins are, business logic vulnerabilities that we touch on today, and we have some offerings in that area, but we think it can be a lot more robust. And looking at later this year and early 2024, it's expanding the solution into additional value areas for our customers.
Well, anything else you'd like to share with us, Gadi, before we let you go? We have a lot of CISOs who tune into us and security teams, as well as companies who may potentially be interested in partnering with you if the channel is part of your strategy.
Yeah, so we definitely work with channels. We partner strongly with a number of channels. We also have a number of technology partners that we are well integrated with and collaborate with very closely. I would say the key message I would send to organizations is don't continue living in the past. I understand that there are modern tools that can help you do a better job, can help you better align your security with and your development organizations, and can make your entire organization better and more secure. So look out for those additional tools that can really make you better, and don't live with good enough from legacy solutions.
Well, Gadi, we appreciate you coming on with us. A hot company and a hot space. I know we're going to hear more out of you later in this year, so hopefully you'll come back on with us.
Excellent. Really appreciate the time and the discussion, and look forward to catching up very soon.
I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. Joining us today was Gadi Bashfitz, CEO at Bright Security, a developer-centric dynamic application security testing solution, also known as a DAST. Visit brightsec.com to learn more. Evolution Equity TV is sponsored by Evolution Equity Partners, an international venture capital investor partnering with exceptional entrepreneurs to develop market-leading cybersecurity and enterprise software companies. Visit evolutionequity.com to learn more. You can keep up with all of our media at cybercrimemagazine.com.